Hello, Compass Healing family. It's Emanuel here, your certified body code practitioner, group energy facilitator, and also regression hypnotherapist. And so I'm excited because I'm going to talk about my powerful certification in regards to helping you out with your timelines and regressing to a certain time that where something amazing happened. And we're not talking about 14 years old, we're not talking about 7 years old or a 23-year-old breakthrough. But today we're going to talk about going back to the womb. And this is very unique because for many reasons, when I first started looking into energy medicine work back in 2015, you have to understand that the first time I heard the word womb was when my mother, who was an oncologist, Maria Guerra, she went and started using this machine that had sort of like a pinching mechanism to be able to pinch parts of my ear because she told me that my sort of a figure of a fetus is inside your ear. She was really into acupuncture, Chinese medicine. She believed that Eastern and Western medicine should be combined together, not combating each other or competing, that it should be integrated both together. Again, she was way ahead of her time working back at Kaiser Permanente, but she was a big inspiration to me. She continues to inspire me to this day. How I build my practice, how I help my clients has a lot to do with how she kept me open-minded and how she led with the heart always in mind. The heart always led before the mind. And something that's really interesting is that, so that's the first time I heard about womb. That kind of shocked me. That said, what is my sort of a fetus figure doing in my ear? Because I was having pain in my knee. And so if the fetus was all scrunched up in my ear, if you targeted a specific point, the pain would be alleviated in my knee. So that's the first time. Then later on, I started studying some Chinese medicine, just kind of like hearing things from like a holistic doctor that I know that was a friend of my mother's. And it was interesting. He started talking about how there's certain Asian cultures, if you were to raise a baby in a very holistic manner, they said that sometimes they would take a sabbatical from the husband. They would eat differently. They would meditate more frequently, because the whole point is that they understood that the child was being programmed in the womb. Now, let's say I'm trying to like go through the timeline here. So I was studying that. My mother showed me about the fetus. Then a client I remember live on a radio station came to me and she said, "Do you mind working on my baby, my unborn baby?" And I told her, I said, "You're so wise. How do you know I could do that?" She says, "It just makes sense. That baby is totally feeling my emotions." And I don't know where she got that from. I'm not sure how she got that information, but it's true because when I work on people's symptoms, whether it's sinus issues, they have they can't go to the bathroom, or they have lung issues, or they can't focus, or they have ADHD, any type of symptom, we all know that 80% of it has to do with emotional baggage. But what I didn't know is that some of the times where I was muscle testing in the session, I would go to second trimester, first trimester, third trimester. So a lot of my clients, and if you're one of my clients, if I've ever worked with your symptoms before, it wouldn't be a big shock to you if I found something first trimester, second trimester. You automatically know what I say in the recording, right? It's, you absorb this from who? From your mother. There is a small smidgen of a percentage that it could be absorbed from the father, but it's more rare than the mother. Okay, let's just say that. So technically, the mother is on a roller coaster with the child for 9 months. And depending on how the mother is doing, the child is also experiencing. I mean, I saw a horrific video. I don't know how, YouTube takes you different places. I don't know how I saw this, but I saw a bunch of people beating up a woman that was pregnant. And I was like, whoa, what was that all about? And then because of the information that I know what's going to happen to that baby. And I know it's going to not only is the baby feeling physical, emotional shock in there, but the mother's feeling all these emotions. And I bet time after time, during it and maybe post, that baby is going to take an emotional hit. And it's going to affect the baby. Might have depression, anxiety, panic attacks early because of that one horrible, tragic incident. So what I'm trying to tell you is that the baby is highly intelligent. That's why when it comes to like abortion, the reason why I'm the reason why I'm another reason why I'm very, very against abortion is because of the proof that I have that you as a client have improved your symptoms due to trauma in the first, second, third trimester. You are awakened. You are absorbing. You are learning. You are, and what I'm about to tell you right now will let you know how observant you really are. Because with this one, we know it's absorbing stuff. You're absorbing stuff. But where I'm about to take you right now is that you are actually even creating inside the womb. Okay, so in hypnoregression, first of all, number one, you take yourself to that time. A lot of people think like, unfortunately, we live in a society where hypnotherapy, they label it with like hypnosis, like showcase hypnosis, which is very, very different. That sort of theater hypnosis where you see someone turning like into a chicken, that is a mockery of actual hypnotherapy to assist you. Now, they're using sort of, the sad part is they're using similar techniques, but it's not for the positive change of a person, right? For example, you can watch a self-development movie or a very good positive growth movie, or you can watch pornography. It's the same vehicle, but you're getting different outcomes, right? Anything can be sort of devilized or changed in a negative way. That's something that could be godly, right? And so what's happening here is I take you back into theta state, and we're in theta state for a lot of our lives. When you're watching a movie, you're in theta state. That's why if you look at they call it sometimes the idiot box. The TV is like the idiot box, or now we're getting back to your programming. Now back to your program. If you hear that, it's like, hey, watch this news. Now back to your program. I always say back to your programming. When you're watching it, I mean, anything that comes to you, they're very smart. For example, if you watch the shows at nighttime, where they're selling you things at 12 midnight or 1 a.m. I've never been that person, but maybe your mom has or your grandma has. If you notice during that time where it's very, very late, they're kind of in between sleep and awake, they're very much in a theta state. And they're more willing to buy something and be programmed. If people say, don't you want this? Oh, I love this, Linda, blah, blah, blah. The buyers are, yeah, I want that. I really want that. It's because the subconscious is very suggestible in that state. So the TV is very smart. They know that. They know that late hours, if we can just sell things at late hours, we will make more profit if we do that, because people are in a certain theta state. They're more programmable. Okay, so just know that when you're watching it, when you're listening to some music, sometimes when you're watching a movie, when you're watching TV for too long, you're getting into theta state. Also, when you wake up in the morning and right before you go to bed, you start going into a different state, a theta state. Okay, now I'm trying to bring you back there, and I have a special method to do it because of the certification that I have. And as I take you back there, I take you back to some good memories of your life. Maybe between 30 to 40, 20 to 30, 10 to 20. It's like you're starting to use sort of your inner vision of like, oh yeah, I see myself here. I see myself there. It's a really beautiful thing, to be honest. I'm not looking for a negative thing. I'm taking you back to positive. I'm just going to give you a little sample of what it's like to do regression hypnotherapy going to the womb. So you're getting these little samples of like, oh, that's when the happiest time was at 34. The happiest time was at 26. The happiest time was at 16. The happiest time was at 8. And you're going back and back and back, and your theta state is alive and well. Then at some point, we have to take you to the womb. And here are a lot of questions that you can get in the womb. And one of the things I've taught my clients for a very, very long time is the heart wall, right? So if you haven't cleared your heart wall, we got to clear your heart wall. And look up heart wall 15 minutes. Trust me, you'll thank me later that you watched that. But it's one of the most, it's the greatest discovery in energy healing history. Okay, I'll say that again. It's the greatest discovery in energy healing history is the heart wall. Why haven't you watched that video yet? So look up heart wall 15 minutes. I did that video back in 2000, probably 16. And now it probably has over 70,000 views. I didn't create, nor did I discover the heart wall. Dr. Bradley Nelson did, my good friend who lives 5 minutes away from me. He created it, but I was the one that just described it like the way he told me to describe it. And it's just beautiful that people resonate with it. because it's true. I can go up to a homeless person and find one. So definitely get your heart wall cleared. That's one way to find your mission. I just gave you a little clue here. To find your mission in life is to clear all the trauma from your heart. And yes, you can do it long distance, right? Okay, so back to the going to the womb. Also, what I found that the most powerful thing that you will ever find out is that there's no such thing as a victim. I'm going to say something that may offend you. There's no such thing as a victim if you've done womb regression or you have aligning beliefs of what you're experiencing in the womb. What do I mean by that? A lot of us that we go through life and we go, oh, I've been a victim of this, and of bad parents, of rape, of all this different stuff like that, you know? And there's nothing light about it. And I'm not discounting the pain that you had there, okay? But one of the things that I've learned is that the conscious brain wants safety. The subconscious brain wants growth. I'll say it again. The conscious brain wants safety. The subconscious just wants growth. You chose your family. You chose your parents. You chose your mission in this life. Now, again, you might say, no, that's not true. I don't believe that. You know, my religion says this, my belief is it's just take a deep breath, okay? Because here's what I know, even with your religion that you believe, and I'm a Christian myself, but whatever religion you believe, okay? One thing that's been lost from religion is experiencing something yourself. When theology becomes experience, when you have an experience, it makes you question even theology, or it supports theology. Okay, I'm putting my big boy pants right now. Okay, so I'm trying to help you guys out to open up your minds even more. Is that when you experience something, you can't go back on it. You've experienced something. You know, it's hard to deny it at that point. You know, and so when you go back to the womb, be open to be like, huh. There's a couple of questions you can ask yourself. So, for example, number one, I'll be asking you while you're when you're in that theta state. It's almost like you're experiencing the womb again. I mean, I feel like it's like almost like time traveling. And those of you who have done it with me, you really felt the sensations, or you might feel something, you might know something, you might hear something. Everyone experiences senses differently. Okay. I'm not going to say there's one way to experience your regression. But one of the questions you can ask is, how do you feel to be in your mother's womb? How do you feel? Now, this is not something that's absorbed that I found through emotion code, body code. You had your own feelings in there, okay? You know, was it crunched up? Did you feel like you had space? If you had crunched up, is it possible you produced trapped emotions in there that traumatized you, maybe even made you feel claustrophobic, and for some reason you have claustrophobia, maybe. So we can kind of even work and do a body code session on top of your regression hypnotherapy. Number two, is it cramped, or is there room to move around? You know, is it cramped in there? You would know. Can you feel your mother's heartbeat? See, again, it's like a time traveling thing. You're going back there and you're sensing. That's the best way I could explain it, like inner sensing. You're like, did I experience that? Your subconscious recorded everything. Conscious brain, not so much. Subconscious, it recorded everything. And you'll be able to let me know, yes, I felt it, or no, I was paying attention to other things, you know? And it'll be very clear answers for you. It won't be like, let me think here. When you start saying the word think, by the way, in regression, it means you're trying to analyze it too much. You're using your analytical brain is trying to come out and join the fun that we're having. But just let the subconscious talk, right? It's the first thought that comes up. Do you have a sense of your mother's presence? These are great questions that I ask my clients. Maybe you don't. Maybe she's spiritually, mentally checked out. And so that teaches you things about your mom. Mom told you one thing, you're feeling a different thing in the womb. Do you have a sense of your father's presence? Maybe your father's presence was warm to you. You felt his love. He was excited. Maybe not. How did that shape you in the womb? Do you need a body code session of what I do due to the fact that you couldn't sense your father? See, so we're going to some deep, deep levels. Because if you notice, all we are is like children in an adult's body. If we can get to the womb of the womb of the womb and find out how you felt in there, what you experienced, what, everything in there, you've kind of lined yourself up for some great healing within the session, and you could do body code sessions in the future in the knowledge that you received. Another thing is, how is your dad feeling about the pregnancy? Your subconscious knows that answer. Why did you? This is powerful, guys. This right here is a mind-changing one, and I'm already recalling a client that I had, very, very successful business person, and he was surprised what came out of his mouth while he was in the regression, because he found out for the first time why he chose his parents, why he chose his family, why he chose this time in history. Okay, that's interesting. This time in history. Yeah, why did you wait so long? Why this time? Your subconscious knows. Your child, that little kid in there that you think is just this little ignorant kid that doesn't know languages and anything, whatever. The subconscious is highly intelligent, has access to this information. Also, what did you notice about your body? What do you like about it? What do you dislike? You're already having sort of body discontentment or contentment in the womb. You're like, okay, I have a deformed body. I don't like how my right arm doesn't move. Like, you're already analyzing your body situation. Could there be trauma there? Absolutely. Here's a beautiful one, guys. Okay, this is another one. Do you stay in your body or do you come and go? I'll say it again. Do you stay in your body or do you come and go? The question, and I've even asked some people, where do you go? And sometimes they go to the Akashic records. Sometimes they go to, the spirit body goes and visits their brothers and sisters at school. It's very interesting where your body would locate itself, depending on how, especially if you felt really crunched. Again, a client's coming to my mind that he felt so crunched that he spent most of the time outside the body than inside the body, which is fascinating. How do you spend your time waiting to be born? Okay. Now, I did this regression myself, and my mother thought it was so funny that when she was alive, she told me that I was sitting in like a meditative position. She's like, I feel like you were just meditating in there. And one of the most interesting things my father's ever told me, that he doesn't tell me about all these little times when I was a kid, some, but not a lot, because he was busy. He was busy at work. One of the things that he told me that he said he will never forget, and I really believe my dad when he said this. He said that when I opened up my eyes, I wasn't crying. Like, I just opened up my eyes, and then he said, like, I was looking around, and the first thought that he telepathically received from me, he's like, oh, I'm finally here. Like, oh, I'm here. Kind of signifying the fact that, no, it's not like, oh, here, Mother Earth, this is the first time I'm here. It's like I knew I was coming in this family. I knew this was my dad. I was aware, more aware than anyone will ever know unless they do regression hypnotherapy. Okay, so was I meditating? Be interesting. What were you doing? Were you planning certain things? Were you thinking about how you're going to be a loving mom? I remember another client too told me, she said something interesting. She said, I came and I was preparing like a sort of self-love to myself because I wanted to give love to my mom because she didn't have it with her husband. Isn't that interesting? The baby came, one of her missions was to just mainly give love to the mom because the mom was suffering with lack of love in her relationship. And she had like kind of a sub mission. It's not the primary mission, but kind of like a sub of like taking care and consoling a woman. Okay, so you can find out where you went. Did you go to the Akashic Records? Did you go to libraries? Did you go to a different planet? I mean, honestly, I've heard it all at this point. You can go to many, many different places. And it really is fascinating. You'll find out how deep your soul is. I'll say that again. One of the things that like just bugs me, it drives me bananas, is when people don't value themselves. Because that's how I used to be my whole life, right? And what I realize is that you are so invaluable. If you realize when you go back in regression, like how intelligent you were, and how you made a decision before you came to Earth, it's like the victimhood is gone. You cannot be a victim now, because now your subconscious is matching your conscious, and your conscious is like, oh, you chose this for growth. I'm gonna change my way. I'm gonna think like my subconscious. Boom, victimhood's gone. And so that's another thing is what are you coming to do? Okay, what are you coming to do? What is your purpose? That's also answered. I would pay $1 million if I knew that someone can take me back to my womb and just let me know what I'm doing here. That'd be great, right? Guess what? No one should tell you that. The only person who knows that is you. I think that's beautiful. I think that's beautiful, because so many people are going to try to tell you, oh, you're going to be a good doctor. You're going to be good this. You're going to be the, you have a husband that says, oh, you're going to be a great housewife. We constantly absorb other people's opinions about what we should be and what we should not be. When was the last time you listened to your true self, your baby self, the purest self, and said, the reason why I came here is to learn how to forgive. The reason why I'm here is because I'm going to learn how to love unconditionally. The reason why I came here is because I want to bring peace more to families. It won't be like be a teacher, be a doctor. That stuff doesn't matter. When you go to heaven or you go to the spirit paradise, spirit prison, when you go there, not one person's going to ask about your occupation. Just not. They're going to ask you, who were you as a person? Did you grow? You said you were going to use this life to grow. Did you do it? Did you grow? Did you learn your lesson? Okay, very, very key. How will this body help you with what you're coming to do is another question. How do you feel about the life you're coming to live? Okay, if you're having a slump right now in your life, wouldn't it be cool to know that you were excited in the womb? What does that mean for you? That means there's good times ahead. There's good times ahead that you're not aware of because the baby already saw it. Kind of cool. How much energy did you bring with you? A little bit, a lot. So you're going through this process with me as I take you into regression hypnotherapy, and you're going through the ages at first, and then you're asked these questions in the womb. I highly recommend, if you know a regression hypnotherapist, go to them and they'll help you out with this. Or if you want, I can help you out personally. I'll leave a link down below where you can book with me. It's about a 90-minute Zoom call, so it will be on video, and I will be walking you through it. It's kind of a process to get you to a certain state, to that theta state, but then it becomes very easy. You'll start feeling things, seeing things, hearing things. You have your own way how you acquire your insightful information, but everyone's different, and we'll go down there all the way to your womb, and you'll be shocked at what you find out about yourself. So I'm excited for that journey that you're going to take now that you know about this. I told everyone to comment on Facebook, Inner Child Wisdom. Imagine knowing all these things. I wish we would have known this when we were born, but hey, there's a reason why you're watching this video right now, that maybe it's time for you to kind of rekindle the conversations that you used to have in that little baby state where you were actually more wiser. It's listening to the very mature soul awaiting their mission. So with that, hopefully you gained some interesting insights. Comment below which insight stood out to you that you're like, wow, I didn't know you can learn that information. That's interesting. Comment below which one was your favorite question that you feel like you want to be asked. Again, make sure you subscribe. Put the bell on if you see the little subscribe, put the little bell where it says notifications all, because I will be doing live healings very, very soon, and you want to be notified when I do that. Also, make sure you join Heal if you want that. Every single Sunday, I do a healing for a whole group of people. If you want a free healing for you and your family, go to haveempathyandlove.com. Again, it's haveempathyandlove.com. I also do weekly healings there as well. Or again, if you want to do any regression hypnotherapy work, I will put my link down there. I look forward to serving you. So again, hopefully you gained some great value from this. My deepest wish for you is that you continue seeking things outside of your paradigm. Keep looking outside yourself. Do you think it was easy for me to read a book on hypnotherapy? Do you think it was like, oh yeah, Emanuel's going to go right to hypnotherapy? No. Do you think it was easy to think outside the box when my parents were saying, "Oh, energy," or my dad was saying, "Energy healing"? You think it was easy? Do you think to tell him like, "I'm going to do it," and then him thinking I'm scamming people for like many months? Do you think it was easy? Do you think it was easy that like that I'm reading things and learning things from other cultures when sometimes your own religion says, no, just learn about your culture. Don't learn outside. Be careful out there, you know? You think it's easy? No. But that's what I admonish you to do this, to do this thing called KQE, which means keep questioning everything. Okay, I have it on the top of my journal. I always write it up there from time to time. I'll be like, KQE, question everything. There's so much truth everywhere. And your goal is to put the puzzles back together to kind of like be like, oh, that's a part of me. That's a part of my identity. Oh, wow. I never thought of it that way. And I'm telling you, life becomes way more amazing like that. So that's my little message to you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll talk soon. Take care.